Alright guys, this is a Necrotic Wake guide. This is our Necrotic Wake guide, right meow. Necrotic Wake is 4 bosses. It's actually a really annoying dungeon I don't really like to do. The first boss is a big abomination. He's a big dude. And what he does is he'll do a casual AoE that he'll just poop out green stuff around him. Just basically move him out. He'll do a big spit towards a player. He'll target a player and he'll spit a bunch of green stuff. He'll basically throw up on you. Ideally, you want to position yourself where you're going behind the boss. So ideally, he doesn't want to spit this way. Ideally, he spits this way, right? Ideally, you're positioned where he's going to spit in the back of him, not where you're kiting him, because you need to kite this boss a decent amount. So you don't want to leave spit and stuff in your route. So ideally, you want to make sure you're kind of behind them if he does target you. After he spits on you, he'll summon 3 adds from that spit. You'll take damage when he spits, so use a defensive cooldown if you're the guy who's getting spit on. He'll summon 3 adds. You just got to cleave those adds down. And then, like I said, he does a big AoE around him as well. Just cleave the adds down as fast as possible. Position it right. I mean, that's really the whole fight. It's really... And also, when the adds do die, they do leave like a puddle as well. They do leave a poison puddle as well. So you want to ideally stack the adds and kill them like that. And they do fixate on players. Okay. The second boss is a big dragon. So like this. Oh, hold on. This is sick dragon. Like an alligator. It's a big dragon. Okay. What this dragon does, he has a couple mechanics. He will constantly be casting a spell called Necrotic something. He'll constantly be casting a spell. You can just interrupt it. It's not like the biggest deal, but he'll constantly be casting it, so just interrupt him. He'll do a laser beam that'll fix it. That'll look out a player, and it'll quickly rotate through the room or around a bit. It rotates probably like 90 degrees, something like that. 90, 120 degrees from where he starts. Either way, it's pretty fast, so you just got to react fast to it. It's a random player, so... The player just needs to react fast to it. Other than that, the main mechanic here is he'll summon adds. The mages of the adds are very scary because the mages will cast Frostbolt and Frostbolt Volley. Frostbolt Volley does a ton of damage, and you want to make sure you interrupt the adds. They spawn all over the place. They spawn all around him, so if you have like a DK to grip him in, that'll be great, but make sure you interrupt the mages. That's the #1 priority, because if too many Frostbolt Volleys go off, you're going to die. Basically, you just want to AoE these adds down before he does his mechanic, which at 20 seconds after some of these adds or something like that, he'll blow up the adds' dead body, and if they're not dead, he'll do a massive AoE to everyone, basically wiping the group. So the main mechanic here is you kill the adds fast, you interrupt the Frostbolt Volleys, and then you avoid the breath, and then you casually kick the boss. Boss is pretty easy. That's it. The third boss of Necrotic Wake is the hardest boss for sure. This is the room of it. So the boss is actually on a platform up here. He's like a doctor or something like that. And he'll have a abomination below him. So what you want to do here is you start the fight by killing the abomination. They have a tank buster, I think, that the tank just needs to worry about using a cooldown. It's called like Butcher or something like that. I don't think you could be in front of the bomb, but it's just a tank mechanic. The main thing here is he'll fixate on a player, and he'll throw his Butcher. He'll try to hook the player. And you have 3 seconds to position yourself. You're going to be the red dot. You have 3 seconds to position yourself to where he's going to miss you and he's going to hook his actual boss. So as the player, let's say you got it on this red dot right here, you would quickly go to this area where if he throws it at you and he misses, he's going to hit the other guy. So when this 3 seconds is up, he's gonna lock himself and he's going to cast the hook. And once he locks himself, he can run away. Once he locks himself, you can run away, and he's gonna just throw the hook. And ideally, you have it hook the boss. And this is how you kill the boss: is he'll hook the boss, and then the boss will be forced to come down, and he'll fight. He'll be down for a little bit. He'll fight alongside the guy. Throughout this whole fight, there's AoE ticking damage that the abominations do. The longer they are alive, the more AoE damage that will happen. So you kind of want to kill the abom, but ideally, the strat here is. The strat here is that you try to one phase him, because he'll be down for about 30 seconds to 40 seconds, something like that, until he goes back up there and he'll be untargetable. So you want to focus the boss here and try to kill him as fast as possible. On higher keys, this is really hard, and I'll explain what you need to do. So on higher keys, you need to get 3 spears. In this dungeon, there's spears that spawn. I should have mentioned this before. There's spears that spawn. And these spears increases the damage taken by a mob by 20% when you throw the spears on them. These spears randomly, or not randomly, but they're in fixed spots around the dungeon, which we'll show you. And 3 people need to pick up these spears. And the strat here is you triple spear him as he comes down, so he takes 60% more damage. You lust, you pot, and you try to burn this guy and try to one phase him. Because if you don't, it gets really hard on higher keys because the AoE damage from the abominations. This fight's pretty hard. When this guy is down, he will fixate on someone, but the abomination will also do the same hook mechanic. And what you need to do about the hook mechanic is the player who gets fixated in this phase when the boss is down needs to travel, so the hook is going to hook the boss again. So let's say he's hooking, so he needs to hook the boss again. If you get the hook on the boss, then the boss won't fixate on someone. It'll interrupt the fixate, and you can still continue fighting the boss. If you miss the hook, then the boss will fixate on someone and chase someone around, and if he hits you, he's going to kill you. That's pretty much the whole fight here. It is really hard because it's really healing intensive, especially with the abominations. If you don't one-phase it, it can be really hard. But that's the whole fight. It's a really hard, annoying fight. This is where like 90% of the pugs probably fail. That's the whole boss. Alright, so I didn't explain this before, but I'm going to explain this now. Throughout the dungeon, there's 3 different spots where spears spawn. And you do need to pick up these spears because it really helps on the 3rd boss. They increase the damage, I think it's just physical damage, maybe it's all damage, by 20%, and they can stack. And so you want to make sure you pick up these spears. The last boss is like the last boss of this is like a Lich King boss. He's like a wizard with like a robe. He's got like a nice robe. He looks like this. What he does is he'll periodically send someone down to a nether realm. So this is like his arena. He'll periodically send someone down to basically a little area where there's a mob at the end. There's a little wizard at the end. And you start right here as the red dot. And you have to avoid circles and stuff and get to the wizard and kill the wizard. Once you kill the wizard, you can talk to this little angel over here that'll send you flying back to the platform. Once you're back, you'll get 100% crit for 40 seconds. But a couple seconds after you land, you will drop a frozen patch on you. So you want to make sure you put this in like a random corner. You don't want to instantly go back to the boss. It'll be like a 3-second debuff you get once you land, and you'll drop an ice patch. And you don't want this on the boss. This boss will also give you a debuff. This boss will also give a random player a debuff. That's a big circle around him. So this is the player in the middle here. It's a big circle around him. This guy will be rooted, and anyone in this circle will be rooted when this is a dispellable debuff. Basically, you want to get out of this circle. Everyone wants to get out of the circle except the guy rooted, or the guy who is the circle. This guy gets dispelled. Anyone in the circle will get rooted and take damage. Pretty easy. And then the last thing on this boss is he'll make you run around. He'll basically follow you with a bunch of swirlies on the ground. He'll leave a bunch of swirlies behind you, and you just kind of want to sidestep every second and avoid the swirlies. So as a melee, you can do like a little dance like this. You can go like a little out and then like a little in, so you don't really lose uptime. You want to just do a little swirly, basically. And that's it.